In this video, we're going to show you how to install the rear lower control arm on your Subaru Legacy located in the rear suspension. Using a thin wall 19mm socket, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove our lug nuts here. Our particular vehicle has a locking key on it, so we're going to go ahead and remove this. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now that we have the back wheel off, we want to go ahead and move to the inboard portion of our control arm here. And right here is a cam bolt. What we're going to do is we're going to use a marker here and go ahead and mark this because this is going to set our preliminary setup for our alignment. You will have to have an alignment after this job is done, but this will get you close. So we're just going to follow along here. And right where that dot is here, I'm going to put a little line. We want to go ahead and loosen up our cam bolt here. On the nut side, it's a 17mm. On the bolt side, it's a 22. Now what we're going to do is, because this vehicle is rusted, we're going to use a heat inductor tool on the nut side here to warm that up so we can go ahead and zip that off without breaking that bolt. Now that we have the nut loose on the back side, we did use an inductor tool, so I'm not going to grab that nut and try to spin it off until that's cool. But what we can do is try and move this cam bolt. Let's try and move this a little bit. At least we're able to break that free. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and spray this down with some rust penetrant a little bit. Let that soak in. I want to make sure that I don't lose that mark here. Now I'm going to remove that nut off the back side. And set that aside. Now that we have the nut loosened and removed off the back and we have this bolt pivoting, let's go ahead and loosen and remove the bolt from the other end. We're going to use our 17mm socket on our ratchet here. And the other side, we're going to use our 17mm box wrench on the bolt head side. Now sometimes these bolts, this outer bolt and that cam bolt, will be seized inside the rubber bushing, and you might have to do an alternate process to remove them. You might have to cut them out or whatever you need to do. So be prepared to go ahead and source replacement cam bolt and replacement outer bolt, as well as possibly the bushing inside the knuckle. Now at this point here, we're going to go ahead and knock the control arm up and off. And we'll probably have to use a pry bar to get this one out. There we go. We're going to take our control arm and we need to get this fed up on the other side over our exhaust, and then drop the control arm down over the knuckle here. Get this lined up. There we go. Get that bolt worked through. Go ahead and get that nut started on there. Let's go to the inboard portion and install the cam bolt. Now when installing the cam bolt, don't forget to obviously install your cam. We had to replace our bolt because ours was broken after we removed it. And we need to get that lined up so we can use like a screwdriver or awl or whatever you have there to go ahead and get that to line up. Once you get that bolt pushed through, don't forget to install the cam on the other side. Install the nut. Now at this point here, we still have our red marker here, and that is basically the peak of our cam. So that's pretty much right in line here. You can see as it comes around, it lines up with the point on this bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this cam to this point, and then we'll go ahead and snug down that bolt. Now we're going to install our jack. We're going to get this in place. And what we need to do is, before we tighten these bolts down, we need to compress our suspension into what we call a neutral ride height. That is when you have your wheel installed on the vehicle and it's down on the ground and then the suspension is completely compressed as if you were riding down the road. Now, if we tighten this now and then we compress it, it's going to cause these bushings to bind. It's going to create a stiff, jouncy ride, and it's going to cause these bushings to tear and things to wear prematurely. So crank this up, raise your jack until that vehicle just starts to come off of your lift or your jack stands. That shows us that our suspension is fully compressed. I'm gonna make sure that it's tight. Let's move to the inboard portion. Run that nut down as far as I can here on the other side. Get my wrench on there. Now don't forget, this is a preliminary alignment setting, generally matched up to where the other one was before. But even if you're off just a couple degrees, you can cause premature tire wear. So that's why when you're done with this job and you complete doing the control arm for the other side, if needed, you'll need to get an alignment done. Okay. We're now snug. Let's now go ahead and torque these down. Torque this down to 112 foot-pounds. There it is. Let's torque the outer bolt here to 89 foot-pounds. Now that we're torqued, we can go ahead and lower our jack. Now, if you replaced your bolt like we did, our particular one has a Zerk fitting or a grease fitting. Going to install that. Use our 7mm socket to gently snug that down. Now we're going to use our grease gun to fill this up, and that's going to help prevent this cam bolt from seizing again like ours did. Let's go ahead and install our grease gun. There we go. Wipe off that excess grease. Now at this point here, go ahead and install your wheel. If you need to repeat this process for the other side, go ahead and do so. Get the vehicle down to get that alignment done, and you're good to go. Go ahead and grab your wheel. Line that up on the studs. And ideally, you want to go ahead and get all of these started by hand, and then we'll come on back and snug them down. Let's go ahead and gently snug these down. I'm going to do this in a crisscross or a star pattern. You want to go ahead and torque down your lug nuts to 88 foot-pounds. Ideally, you want to do this in a crisscross or star pattern. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.